Hello there, you're listening to the Box Office Show. I'm Ryan Hill.
And I'm Dylan Johnson. Today we talk about the box office numbers from last weekend and our box office predictions for this upcoming weekend.
We'll also be talking about the latest adaptation of Frankenstein. This time it is from filmmaker Guillermo Del Toro, who says that he has been waiting to make this film his entire career.
Straight into the box office breakdown for November 14th to the 16th, coming in first place in its debut weekend. Now You See Me, Now You Don't, with 21 million.
Indeed, it beat out Edgar Wright's The Running Man remake, which had 16.4 million.
Following is Predator Badlands with 12.7 million.
Regretting You, 3.7 million.
Black Phone 2, 2.6 million, bringing its domestic total to 75 million.
Keeper, 2.5 million.
Nuremberg, 2.4 million.
Sarah's Oil, 2.2 million.
Yorgos Lanthimos' Begonia, 1.6 million.
And Chainsaw Man, the movie Resi-Arc, had over 1 million.
All right.
For our box office predictions for November 21st to the 23rd, get out your green and pink attire because it is wicked for good. It's back 1 year after the first part of the Broadway musical adaptation. We are looking at whether it will get over 114 million, which is what the first one got, or maybe get over 160 million, which is what Minecraft got earlier this year to set the record for the year. So what do you think Wicked for Good is gunning for? You think it'll get over the first one? More hype this time?
I think so. I think there was enough track from the first one to get a little over like 120, 130 domestically.
Very good, very good. Yeah, I think it would get close to the 160 million opening, but I don't think it's gonna crack it. But there are a lot of people that are excited for this. I mean, like I said, I told you I was there, and there were people dressed up at the wazoo, pink and green everywhere. They had slushies that were pink and green as well. They like debuted new flavors for the slushies.
Crazy.
And so, yeah, the marketing was out in full force.
Yeah.
So it'll be a massive debut, one of the biggest for the year, but probably not the biggest of the year.
This was on your roster, right?
It sure was.
Nice.
Oh, yes. All right. Now we can dive into Frankenstein, which will not have any box office to speak of because it is Netflix. So Guillermo Del Toro partnering up with Netflix after he had done so with Pinocchio a couple years back, which you had seen and enjoyed, yes?
Yeah. You never saw Pinocchio?
I never got around to it.
Dude, that's a classic. Yeah. It's an all-timer. You won an Oscar for it. It's great.
You sure
really,
did.
Really good.
So yeah, so he was like, let me do another classic story adaptation with Netflix. And he's spoken very openly about how he has always loved this story. There's shades of it all throughout his work of, the outcast, the misunderstood monster and everything. And so it was finally time for him to go to the source material itself and bring it to life. And he brought together a cast for it: Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, Christoph Waltz, Mia Goth, Charles Dance, among many others. So it's also in the awards contender.
Big
time. On my roster for the Oscars. And so we thought it would be good to give it a watch, see how it stacks up to the rest of the field so far. And then also, since we did our classic Universal Monsters episode earlier, saw the, original most famous Frankenstein adaptation, I was curious to see how this one, which was supposed to be more faithful to the book, was going to play out. So what did you think, Dylan, of this adaptation of Frankenstein? What are your initial impressions?
I thought it was okay. I think there's a lot of things that I really like about it. There's a lot of things that kind of wow me while I'm watching it. But for the most part, I think it's very long. And I think it doesn't capture my attention like I wish that it would. But based on all the, I watched this a little bit later than everybody. It took me a while to get around to it because I had to find a Netflix account to use. And and so it took me a bit. And so I was
hold on. Just
Yeah,
to put a pin in that real quick, just to pause. So do you, what Netflix account did you end up using?
my
Is it
roommates.
your family? Okay, your roommates. Okay, because I told you this that somehow on my Amazon Fire Stick, your Netflix was still logged in and still functional.
I hate you.
So where I was able to watch like one episode of Raw, um, which was a banger episode. It was a Madison Square Garden episode.
Okay, good.
Um, but I was like, this is crazy. How was I able to get in? And then I tried it a little later and it did not let me in. But it did try and give
Thank
me
God.
a code or something. It was like, here, you need to like be added to the household. So I'm like, why aren't you able to just do that?
I don't think it costs money, doesn't it?
Oh, I think it was already paid for. I think they said like this is getting paid for. You just need to like
Oh,
add
because it's
yourself.
my dad's Netflix, and I'm not sure who he's paying for that for, because it's not me.
But it said it was
So
open. It said it was available. It wasn't like, oh, you're about to like choose which one you need to kick off in order to make yourself available. It was like there's an open slot. Just like send yourself the code. And I
I
was
have
like, oh, that's
no
crazy.
idea.
But then I was like, I'm not gonna do that. I should send that over to
Heck,
Dylan.
fuck you.
Well, I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I was like, Dylan should be using this. Why is he not?
Well, I have no idea. I just use Jacob's now, so it's fine.
All right, well, there we go. That's all
I have
cleared
a
up.
Netflix. Who would
Yeah, I
I
have a
care?
text. Big Mike asked us to text you. So the link expired in those 72 hours, but I was like, oh, Dylan should hop on that. But anyway, so I was curious when you initially you're like, we could maybe do Frankenstein. And I'm like, how is he getting Frankenstein? But
Yeah,
okay.
I had to steal the Netflix of my
I mean, not
roommate.
really. Again, you're in a household, you live together, so
This is true.
that is exactly how it's being done. So
I just think it's stupid. It's per household. That's so dumb.
agreed.
If I'm a single person, I have the right to access 4 different profiles, but I live alone. Come on. I have the right to share that with 3 other people. It's bullshit.
Hmm.
Per household
Agreed.
is dumb as fuck. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I watched it a little bit later than everybody else, and on like online and all the other like movie reviewing podcasts, the big ones that actually have an audience, they were all saying like very tepid things about the movie.
Who
That
are
they
you
were
listening to? Who are
uh,
your
the
our
big picture.
competition?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. I swipe through sometimes. I catch a glimpse, but everybody's talking about like, oh, it's just okay. It's not too great, and so my expectations were a little bit lower. And I will say the opening sequence really bad. Not a fan of it. And I was like, this is gonna be a rough one, I think. And low key, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I found ways to like it. Uh, it looks the art direction looks incredible. All the sets are fantastic. The way that it's shot, terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Ugly.
Atrocious.
Yeah,
Ugly.
we'll get to
Looks
that.
so ugly and horrible. Other than that, I thought it was okay. The performances, I think mostly kind of middle of the pack, mediocre career performances, except for I think Jacob Elordi is doing really good, and I think Mia Goth is doing really good.
Hmm.
Other than that, I think kind of just toe in the line, kind of mediocre performances from everybody else.
Gotcha. So yeah, my initial impressions. First, I'll set the stage, and talk about the experience watching it. I
Sure.
watched it in three parts,
Okay.
which, as you know, is never a great sign off
Well, the
rip.
movie split into 3 parts,
It
so
is. I did not
perhaps this was
necessarily
the way to do it.
follow that framework, but so I watched the first like 35 minutes, and then had fallen asleep. This is
Okay.
not a fault of the movie, however. Again, it was me coming off a all nighter editing, and then I got home and I was like, let me eat something, try and watch some Frankenstein, see how far I get. And so those 30 minutes were during the portion where I was eating, so I couldn't fall asleep there. And then after that,
You got
I
pretty
was
eepy.
just chilling on the couch, yeah, and then get a little eepy. And Mason left because he hadn't yet left to work for work. So by the time that I had knocked out, he had gotten up, did all the things that he does, made his coffee, all that stuff, left. You have been to the apartment, yes?
Yeah,
At least one time, yeah. So
for
you,
sure.
I don't know
A
if
couple
you
times.
remember or not, but our door is notoriously, it is loud. It is crazy loud.
Hmm.
Um, didn't get woken up by that either. So I just wake up a couple hours later. He's gone. The Netflix is still on and still playing something because the whole movie had finished by that point. I'm like,
My
oh my
Netflix?
god, this was crazy. No, not your Netflix.
Oh.
It's Mason's Netflix, his dad's Netflix.
So you ran through
So
the whole movie asleep.
yes, So I was like, oh, so I was like, let me. So I had to then later the next day, I come in and try and find where I had left off, and it was like 36 minutes in. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. So I'm like, all right, let me start watching the next rest of it. Didn't get through the rest of it because I forget what I had to do. I don't know if it wasn't at night, so I wasn't tired, but I was like, I cannot finish it all in this one sitting, so I had to go do something else. And then I came back last night and then finished the rest of it. So in three parts. And let me say, it was tough all three times. The first time, honestly, was I think I enjoyed that the most. I think I was most plugged in. The rest of
Mm,
it, I was just not vibing with the movie at all. And it's, I think, a multitude
sure.
of factors. We'll get into them. But as you talked about, like the cinematography, it was a little rough. I think performances in a lot of times were pretty rough. I think the
Yeah.
writing in a lot of areas very rough. So it was just a shame because again, I think we talked before. I mean, I do love the book Frankenstein. Like it's one
Mm,
of those where again you're getting all these classic novels and some are like hit or miss. But when we were reading that in class, I was like, this is fantastic. Like I loved it. Just the writing of it, all the philosophical musings between like the creature would have with himself and then Frankenstein would have himself, all of that. I just thought it was very rich and nuanced. And I was looking for that in this film because this was supposed to be the more faithful adaptation. And it was kind of lacking in that area. So I was disappointed by a variety of things, which is very sad for me because again, it's Guillermo Del Toro. It's a story that's very near and dear to his heart. He's very passionate about it, and so you want to be able to embrace that, be along with him on the ride of this story. And yet, I was just at every turn bumping up against it, and not really there. So
sure.
it was quite a shame. But yeah, I was very disappointed by the film and did not much enjoy it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's very
So
valid.
let's dive into some of the stuff. So with the art direction, which I
It's
think
fantastic.
in some areas like very cool, very fantastic, in other areas, uh, just a little wonky. A lot of
Right.
that would be the CGI that we got for a lot of different things.
Oh yeah, the tower looks not so great.
The initial tower, yeah, when we see that, and it's the sweeping score and all
The
of that, and I'm just like,
exteriors in
it
this
looks
movie,
not good.
the exteriors are not too solid. The interiors, the actual design sets, I think look good.
Yeah, those are cool. The makeup effects look really cool. All of the
Dude, the
like puppetry
CGI of the
stuff
carriage riding in like the planes leading to the tower, also rough.
that was rough. The fire stuff was rough,
Yeah.
but yeah, all the Angel of Death stuff was very rough. I did not like
Yeah.
the
It looked
the
like
choice they
AI.
went with that. It did, and they had to put out the statement of like there was no AI used. But I'm like, oof, this is not a good look. That like whatever they chose to do for it, it does appear like the AI sort of things. So that stuff wasn't all there, but there's other elements like the whatever the little doohickey that he has, the thing that would light up red.
Mm,
Um, I very much enjoyed that. That looked
yeah.
cool. Mia Goth has some wild looks. That
Dude,
one,
sick
like
outfits.
the
The
blue
blue little
sort of
like yeah,
curvature.
it's awesome.
Yeah, that was very compelling. And the coffins, I thought, so
Yeah.
dope. Both times they did that, I was like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
So I love a lot of those elements, but yeah, there are a lot of them that didn't quite hit, and then again, a lot of that CGI stuff it just did not come across good looking. Like a big portion of it, honestly, I was like, this
Mm,
is Wicked. This is like original Wicked, where we talked about
yeah.
how again a lot of the backlighting, a lot of the like, and they were on real sets a lot of the time, and yet you couldn't tell that apart from if they were on the volume. It was like, what are we doing? And it's just the way they shot it. It's like you have this great production design, these great sets, and yet they look ugly and artificial
It looks
because
like an
of the
iPhone
way
on a
it's lit.
gimbal.
Yeah, and that's the other part of the cinematography here is yeah, they have the wide angle,
Yeah.
which
Nonstop.
historically I mentioned I don't like. Not a shot at James Gunn, but anytime because I watched Peacemaker a little bit recently. This is
Sure.
for all of his movies. This is for a lot of shows, a lot of movies, stuff like that. But you can always see the shift when they go from okay, we're normal coverage of whatever, and then action scene, and then it's a wider angle. They're on the gimbal, and then it's just like floating around the characters and
Yeah.
everything, and a lot of it looks. it just looks more artificial and fake and more like staged and everything,
Yeah,
but it
dude,
takes you out of
Superman
it.
does that.
Superman does that. Peacemaker does that a bunch of times. Every time it
Hmm.
does, I'm just like, oh my god. And so this one was that the entire film, and it's like these are not action scenes, action set pieces, and yet every single scene, even when it's just two people conversing, Christoph Waltz and Oscar Isaac just like chatting it up about the lymphatic system or whatever it was that they had in there on the
Yeah.
board, and it's like, why are we treating this like a either a music video or like an action scene out of current superhero movies and shows? Like, what
Whatever
is
happened to a tripod, bro?
that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
Whatever happened to sticks?
walk it off, just
Walk it
set
off. Put
it
it on sticks.
and roll. Like, let's do that.
Make it a
So
painting. Make it a movie painting.
exactly.
Whatever
So
happened?
yeah, I was not a fan of that, and which is crazy because it's Dan Laustin
Yeah,
who has done Shape of Water,
which is
which
great.
he get the Oscar for that. I don't know, but
I
obviously
think
that
so.
was celebrated very highly that year. He did Nightmare Alley, which I thought was beautiful. I love that film.
That
The
was
look
good. Yeah,
was incredible. And so he also does the John Wick films, which look incredible,
awesome.
or action set pieces. Like
Yeah,
they're filled with those action set pieces, and they look great. Um, and so I'm like, I don't know what happened here. Is it the Netflix factor, or
I
just
think it might be the Netflix
that they had
factor.
there?
Netflix is very, very strict about the kinds of cameras you're allowed to use during their productions, and the
Hmm.
only leeway they've ever Jesus Christ,
I was just so stunned by the
the only
revelation.
leeway they've ever given is to like big time auteur filmmakers like Martin Scorsese. And so I thought that maybe Guillermo Del Toro would get like a little bit of leeway about the kind of cameras used and like the kind of because it's all to them it's all about video quality and the streaming.
Hmm.
And so you have to use specific kinds of cameras to be able to stream at the highest quality possible for their original content. And I think maybe Guillermo del Toro and his cinematography team were a little bit limited based on what they were allowed to shoot. But then on top of that, they spent so much money and so much time building these giant sets. I wish they'd spent a little more time lighting them better because it just feels very flat. And that's a production choice.
Yeah. So again, I don't know. Again, maybe there's some Netflix element to it, but on the other hand, I don't know. It's just a big budget thing. Maybe they're having to,
I mean, the high dynamic
certain
range of the
quarters.
cameras that they're forced to use inherently means that they don't need necessarily like crazy chiaroscuro lighting shit to kind of sell an image. You can just point the camera at the image you're trying to capture. You'll get very low contrast, very high resolution images of everything.
Hmm.
And I just don't think that looks good.
Indeed. So yeah, that was not excellent. How do you think the creature looked? The direction of making them seem
Hmm.
very much stitched together of all the different
Patchwork.
parts, but it's more like they were healed scars for all of it, and then he
Mm.
was a little more pale and all of
I think
that.
that
What do you
was.
think
I
it
think
looked
he
like?
looked fine. Yeah, I think that is like if you're going based on the book, where he is a patchwork of human being pieces put together and brought back to life. I don't really know how else you're going to make it look.
Hmm.
Like obviously, the original Frankenstein is an iconic look because they wanted it to look iconic, and it doesn't necessarily feel like a patchwork human being. He just feels like a dead person that was brought back to life. And in every other adaptation I've seen clips from the Robert De Niro version where he's the creature, and I've seen this, of course. Uh, he's like patchwork. He's got the stitches and he has the pieces put together, and I think that makes sense in terms of the like original story of what the creature's supposed to be. But
Hmm.
man, the OG Frankenstein, he just looks cool. He just looks iconic. Like when you think of Frankenstein, like the Frankenstein creature, that is what you think of 100%.
Yeah, I agree there. I like the idea of going for like the patchwork thing and trying to bring that to life. I just wish it were more tactile because again, it
Mm.
feels like they're healed scars of like all of it stitched together, whatnot. I wanted like actual stitching. Like I wanted to
Yeah, it
see
feels a
the
little too smooth.
seams. Yeah, it just seems too smooth. Like it's stuff that's painted on, and obviously that's because it
Yeah,
is. But I wish it would have felt more like there's like his shoulder at some points is like falling off. The skin is like not quite
yeah.
there, and so you need to
Some
go in
more
and
blemishes
resuture
and
it.
stuff,
Yeah,
which sucks because like Jacob Elordi was sitting in that makeup chair for like 12 hours a day, so
yeah.
it took a lot of time to put that on him. I wish that they had put more like flourishes on it as opposed to making it so smooth.
Indeed. But yeah, so I don't know. It was hit or miss for me. because of that. But I do just like that it's a distinct interpretation of it, and he tried to make it more again like the book rather than the iconic Frankenstein monster that we all know. So gets points there. As far as the performances, so I think this was also like hit or miss here. I just think again it felt very melodramatic, like the tone of it. It just didn't feel very serious. It didn't feel very gothic or anything. It just felt like we're kind of going melodramatic here. And so I think a lot of the performances were in that register. I don't know what was
Hmm.
going on with Christoph Waltz. I mean, love the
Yeah,
guy, obviously a great performer, but I'm like, this doesn't work at all.
yeah.
Um, you liked Mia Goth. I did not like Mia Goth.
I did like Mia
Because
Goth.
I thought she was very out of place. Um, it just did not in any element work for me. And again, it's a very like straightforward part that she's having to play when she's as Elizabeth, and it's like, oh, I love this, strange, gentle giant creature of the creature, and at a certain point has to lambast Victor Frankenstein
Hmm.
for being a bad father, bad creator, all that stuff. And I was like,
Yeah,
I just didn't feel any of it. Like none of it really felt authentic or genuine to me, which
I think it's a fault of the
maybe comes through
writing
in
and
the
not the
writing.
performance.
Yeah, but again, I don't know. Just like seeing again some of the Mia Goth costumes there, I'm like, okay, this looks kind of cool. But in general, I just don't know why. But I was like, this just doesn't feel like a part that I would believably see like her in. Charles Dance, I
Just
mean, solid.
barely there.
He's yeah, very early on playing
Plays a
the
very
abusive
static, simple
father.
character. Yeah,
Um, but he's always great. He's got some
reliable. Yeah,
gravitas to him. What do
very
you think of
reliable.
Oscar Isaac in this part? Because again,
Not a
he
big
I mean
fan.
he's the lead, and yeah, I don't
Talk
know.
about
Generally,
melodramatic.
melodramatic for sure
Not a big
is
fan.
what he had to do. And again, I think that's part of the direction that he was being given. Um, and it's a shame. I do really like Oscar Isaac. Yeah, I think he's a
I
great
do too.
performer.
Mm.
But I just don't think like what they were going for, what everyone was asked to go for in the film. I just don't think meshed well with the story. Again, part of it
I just don't
felt
really understand the development of his character, which might be a writing flaw, but also it's like I just don't see you personally as this character going through this change, Oscar Isaac. I just don't get it. I don't get
which
why.
change are you talking about at
I don't
the
get
end when he like comes
why.
back around or
I know they're trying to make an analogy that particularly I thought was egregious. I don't know why at the end he comes
yeah.
around. There's no there is no like scene of empathy where he like hears the creature's story and then realizes his mistake and like comes to terms with it. It's just very very brief and it doesn't make any sense to me.
Hmm.
And just the initial change of wanting to make this creature so badly and like becoming frustrated with it so quickly, I don't completely understand that as well. I feel like there could have been more of a time lapse of him trying to work with the creature and becoming frustrated, but it just feels like he hates it immediately because it's
Hmm.
not what he wanted, I guess, because it's just dumb, I suppose.
Right. Or he didn't want to put in all that like work for doing it. But yeah, I did
Yeah.
think that because he's like, oh cool, it like worked, and then he's
Hmm.
trying to take
Yeah.
care of him and everything, and he does get frustrated at times. But it seemed like okay, he's gonna like just try and raise it and see what goes down.
But he's
Um,
jealous that Elizabeth likes it, so he just decides
and
to
then
kill
that
it.
part, yeah, where he's like, now we're burning it all down. I'm like, you spent so much
Yeah.
time, effort, like
It's your
Christoph
life's
Waltz
work.
died.
And you win. Like it's your life's work and you proved yourself right.
Yeah.
And you're going to get rid of it because you like this girl and the girl likes the creature, but not even in
Hmm.
like a sexual way for the most part, at least not to your knowledge, just like a fascination.
Yeah.
Which isn't that what you wanted? You wanted people to be fascinated with this thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And like celebrate your work and everything. Like you could imagine there's a
Yeah.
way. But I guess because he personally wanted to be the object of her affection. So
Mm,
again, jealous of the creature that can only say one word.
yeah.
Um, that was pretty
Two
dope.
words.
When he
He
said
says Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, when he was walking away, he's like, oh. So that was pretty cool. Also, you didn't, I mean, I guess he thought the fire was going to destroy everything, but he didn't want to take any of the like notes or all that stuff that he
Yeah.
had. It really just didn't work. I mean, not a lot got burned down, honestly.
Yeah.
Creature
The creature
survived,
found the note
found the notes, found everything.
from where he was living. A piece of paper that didn't burn in a gigantic explosion.
Yeah, and he
Doesn't really
went
trigger.
back. Is that? And again, we'll get into this of like the adaptation. I haven't read the book in quite some time, but I'm like, did
Hmm.
he? Because he goes back, he's like, "Oh, I made a mistake," and he's gonna try and go back and save him. I guess I'm like, bro, it's too late at that point. Like, what are we even trying to do? But then he opens it up, gets hit by a wall of
Hmm.
fire, and then his leg gets snapped off basically.
Good.
And then he's just got a prosthetic leg for the rest of it. But I'm like, some of these things I know for a fact did not happen in the like adaptation. Like this whole thing of the him being going after his brother's wife
Hmm.
or soon to be wife, that was not a thing. Like he had his own, which I don't know if it was an arranged marriage because the whole nobility thing or whatnot, but he had like his own wife or soon to be wife that he had. I don't think there's an element of like the jealousy at all.
Yeah,
I don't think she interacted with the monster, the
I don't
creature.
understand what Frankenstein's character, his motivation is supposed to be for like his like thematic development. Is
Hmm.
he supposed to be this whiny baby who's jealous of the attention that this girl receives and he wants to be in love with her but she doesn't love him back and he's frustrated about it? Is it his inability to, or his the fact that he's like becoming more and more like his father and his inability to like reconcile those feelings and become like a good parent to the creature? What is it both, I guess? I think they're juggling too many balls for a 2 hour movie here for half the character. Like it's Frankenstein's movie for only half of it, so he gets like an hour for this character development, and they're doing two different themes at the same time.
Hmm. But yeah, but I also because some of the things that they do now with the Christoph Waltz character, which I
Hmm.
also think isn't very close to what the book was, but we have this other guy that's like funding it for
Hmm.
his own purposes, right? He wants to be the creature that's like brought to life.
Hmm.
And then Frankenstein gives a hard no to that. He's like, we will not do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, so he's obsessed to the point of like everyone else thinks he's crazy and like this is impossible. Where he's like, I will bring back a body to life, a patchwork body, bring all these different elements together, and I'll be able to, resurrect it with the power of electricity and all this. But then he's like a hard no on like the scientific possibility of being able to save Christoph Waltz because the
Hmm.
disease has spread everywhere through him. I'm like, I want to explore more of that. Like he's wanting to play God in some way, but another way he's like, no, this is simply an impossibility. We cannot save you. He's like, screw off, basically. And then obviously he doesn't want Christoph Waltz to die, but then that whole thing goes down. And then Christoph Waltz was going to destroy it all, which again, I guess if you're frustrated, you want to try and force his hand, but stuff like that. I'm like, what is going on here, and how does that fit into the character of this guy that again has this crazy ambition, this crazy ego, but also not enough to think that he can save Christoph Waltz's life, not enough to enjoy the satisfaction of other people being fascinated by the creature when the creature is brought to life, not enough to, go all out on the extermination of the creature. He goes through all these great lengths to
Hmm.
bring it to life, but then can't put that same effort into making sure that it's dead and gone and destroyed for good. And then also, it's all partially motivated by both daddy and mommy issues.
Hmm.
Like, what was going on there? Mia
There's
Goth
a lot. Yeah.
is Elizabeth and the mom.
Hmm.
Like, what are we
That
trying to
was
say
intentional.
there? I mean, very clearly intentional, but like, why? What do we gain from that? Like, and how does that also factor into his, creation of the life here? Obviously, the death early on is what made him start to be so focused on death and trying to conquer it. But again, I don't really know how that all plays in with the Elizabeth factor. She didn't seem very similar to the mom, but the daddy issues as well. Again, like him becoming that abusive father figure in
Hmm.
a way. Uh, it's just yeah, it's like there is a lot present, but I don't know
Hmm.
that a lot of it is coming together, or that a lot of it is very nuanced, complex, and deep. I just think, and
It's
again, the
too
angel of
messy.
death stuff, like him having these dream sequences, I don't think that was part of the novel at all.
Hmm.
Um, and so, yeah, there's just those elements, and I don't think they coalesce in a way that's compelling or satisfactory. So that was unfortunate. It was a shame.
Yeah.
What do you think of when we get to the creature part?
I think this is where the movie picks up a little bit for me. Is once Jacob Elordi shows up as the creature, I think it goes on way too long without him there. I'm like, oh my god, we're getting so much Frankenstein backstory. We're getting so much Frankenstein, like him building the lab and everything and hitting on Elizabeth. I want to see the sciencey fiction stuff and I want to see the creature. That's all I really want here. That's why I'm here, you know? And so I don't think Jacob Elordi is in this nearly enough. I think Jacob Elordi is really good. I think he plays a very difficult character for what Guillermo del Toro wanted, which is kind of like it's like taking Emma Stone's character in Poor Things and shrinking that performance down to an hour and still making it believable. I think that's really tough to do,
Hmm.
and I think he does it pretty well. I believe that he's the creature. I believe that he has these feelings, these thoughts, these personal demons that he's wrestling with at all times as he's trying to like understand his creation and understand his purpose. And like, I get that and I feel that. And I wish we had more time to sit with him because I feel like my favorite part of the Frankenstein book was him having the creature retell his story of like his journey and like the people that he encounters and the growth that he goes on and the development he accrues and like the philosophical musings that he has during all that time. And I feel like we kind of skip through that with just the spirit of the forest kind of bit there, where he's just hiding in the walls with his family and keep doing things for them and having like a what is it called, parasocial relationship with his family,
Hmm.
and then eventually a real relationship with the blind man, which I feel like is
Indeed.
also just skipped very quickly through.
Yeah, I did really like the blind man stuff though, because that was the
Yeah,
part that was getting close to the book. The parts of the
yeah.
book that I really liked. Again, him, as you said, like having this massive process of self discovery and asking all these great questions of life and everything, and working through it. And then we have the blind man who doesn't see him, right? So it doesn't have that initial repulsed reaction. And so they're able to have a genuine connection with each other, which is great because that's the first, real genuine connection that other than I guess the Mia Goth part that they put in here, but in the book, like that's part of the first real touch of like, okay, like this is what connection feels like. This is what being part of a community can feel like. And so he is like, oh, this is great. And then of course it falls apart shortly after that. And he's just seen as a creature, a monster. Again, the
Mhm.
wolves, I don't know that that was part of the book at all, but him having to deal with that, I thought that was, compelling. Him talking about the sheep and the wolves don't necessarily hate each other, but inevitably they're going to be at odds with each other, and then
Mhm.
he ends up having to, kill a few of those wolves, which he doesn't hate them, but again, when it's survival is on the line, he has to do what he has to do there. So again, I think that stuff was interesting. But my question here with like Guillermo del Toro and his intentions with the adaptation and everything. Obviously, we know even from Creature of the Black Lagoon, he made the whole Shape of Water, the only other real adaptation of that
Mhm.
story because he was so fascinated with the monster, and he was like, I think him and the woman, like the connection that they have, he's swimming around each other. He's like, that's interesting to me.
Mhm.
What if we expanded on that and we find that he wasn't this monster, this terrible creature, he just wanted connection and love and everything.
Yeah.
So he kind of does the same thing here with
It's a
Frankenstein's
very
creature.
strong like thematic through line for his entire career
Exactly,
with
yeah.
Hellboy and with Shape of Water and with Pan's Labyrinth, of just these characters who are misfits in society trying to find connection and meaning through like these very mystical magical realities.
Hmm. Which is beautiful, and I love
Yeah.
that.
And you'd think he'd be like the prime person to take over a Frankenstein adaptation, right? Like you and I were both hype on this movie when it was
Yeah,
announced.
but the issue I think is he leans so hard into that instinct of his to embrace the misfit outcast
Hmm.
that he overly sanitizes Frankenstein's creature
Yeah.
to the point where we lose a bit of the real complexity of like, again, this is someone that has been thrusted into life out of nowhere,
Hmm.
not really being guided properly by his father figure who bounces after trying to destroy him, and
Hmm.
so he's left to try and find his way in the world when everyone in the world wants nothing to do with him and are immediately scared by him. It's like inevitably that's going to cause some like issues, some problems, some frustration and anger, and he does nothing that's really like outright horrible in the story. Whereas in the book, he's like out there murking mofos. Like
Yeah.
he was killing people left and right, and part of it, some of it is like again him not understanding what's going on. Other part of it is him just trying to survive. But other
Hmm.
parts of it was he's like he is rageful. Like he is pissed off. He's brought into this world and then abandoned, has no idea what to do, and so he's just taking it out on people.
Yeah.
And that is not present at all in the movie because we are being guided by Del Toro to be 100% sympathetic to the creature.
Yeah. But then they put it at the tail end of his story, which is technically the beginning of the movie, where he just shows up at the ship and just starts killing people like crazy. And then at the
Yeah,
very end of the movie, after Frankenstein dies, the captain is like, "No, we must pity this creature. I've heard his story. Let him pass." And he
yeah,
just leaves after killing like six of their men.
which is crazy. And then it didn't really make sense why he had killed those men. He was going after, I guess, Oscar Isaac. At that point, he's starting to get shot up. But
Mhm.
everything we had seen of him up until that point is like, well, he wouldn't do that. Like that creature wouldn't attack them.
Yeah.
And again, you can maybe say it's in self defense, but
That is the only
the
time he ever harms innocent people is if it's out of self defense. If they're just scared of him and are attacking him, it's the only time he
yeah,
killed people. And that's not true of the story. He just like in the original Frankenstein story, he just murders people. He's angry.
yeah, because I'm pretty sure in this one, which is what are we doing? Oscar Isaac shoots Mia Goth, who's standing in front of.
Yeah, Chris.
He said, "Get out of the way," and then she does not move a muscle, and then he shoots, and it's like,
Yeah.
what? You were surprised that it was going to hit her and not him when she was still
What's
standing
the
right in
best way
front.
to solve a hostage situation?
Yeah,
Eliminate the hostage.
yeah. So, like that was wild, but I'm like that is not. I'm sure. I don't think that was how it went down in the original book. I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure he is the one that kills her. Like the creature goes out and kills her. I can't remember if it was some sort of accident or if it was like trying to cause pain to
Hmm.
Victor Frankenstein. Um, but so we lose that element to it. So we lose like the
I think he
philosophical
does do it
musings.
intentionally because he does a lot of things intentionally of killing Frankenstein's family because he hates Victor Frankenstein.
There's like a whole section in the book where it's like he's a
He's
hitman
like
going one by one
taking
trying to
vengeance. Yeah,
find where they
yeah.
are. So yeah, it was a whole
But
thing.
every one of Victor Frankenstein's like loved ones dies just accidentally. Like Christoph Waltz falls on accident. Mia Goth, he shoots. The brother, I guess the creature does kill him, but he just knocks him over and he accidentally hits his head.
Right. Yeah, that didn't even like click for me. I was like, did he die or not in that one? But I guess he was going.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just weird that they do that. So a little bit neutered as far as uh, the intensity of what the creature will do in order to like outwardly express all the pain that he's feeling. And again, it's like we
Mhm.
get the pain. Like obviously, it's a crazy thing that he would go through, but it also takes away any of the edge that he has. Um, because again,
Mhm.
this is someone that's brought to life, has 5 days of experience basically, and then any love that he's given is taken away from him immediately. Like he's gonna be very upset and angry and not
Mhm.
know how to process anything. And so it makes sense that he would like act out in those horrible ways. But we don't see that in the movie. And so it's like that gets changed. And then as far as the ending, we get a more positive ending as well, where it seems like he's choosing life. Like we even get that quote as well of like the broken heart, but live on anyway with the broken heart.
Dude,
So
ending on a Lord Byron quote is devious.
yeah,
That's crazy
well,
work. In an
I don't know.
adaptation of Mary Shelley's work,
I'm sure
the only thing
Percy's okay
worse,
with it.
the only thing worse would have been Percy Bysshe Shelley quote. The only thing worse than a Lord Byron quote.
But yeah, anyway, the like that positive note that we end it off on is kind of sweet. Again, it's a happy ending for the outcast, and so it makes sense that Del Toro is wanting to give that to him. But I don't know. I just feel like we lean so hard into okay, the human is the monster with Victor Frankenstein, but then also he's got to get a little bit of redemption at the end, being like, well, now I've heard the whole story. Turns out you should live, so stop being suicidal. Go ahead and live out your life, and move on from the pain. And then I guess the creature's like, sure, like why not? I think the whole element too of like him wanting a bride, like make another creature like me, was
Mm.
also dropped a little bit
Yeah,
too
that was
quickly.
huge in the book.
Yeah, it was
That was
a
his
massive
whole
part of it.
motivating factor in the last section of the book of like, I'm never going to die.
Like you people
There's
won't
like,
accept me, so give
so
me
give
somebody
me
that I can at
somebody
least
who
be with.
loves
Yeah,
me and will be with me forever,
yeah. And then
which I
yeah,
think
I
is
feel
valid.
such a minor part of the film here. But
Yeah.
then it's also so now like did he get over that? And now he's gonna live alone without people or because the captain's chill with him now, but it's
Yeah.
like the captain's not going to invite him to like, hey, come on, like let's go again. Come back home with us with the men
Join the
who you
crew.
killed. We have a few open spots, so come on.
So
You
now
got a
he's
lot
just
of
wandering
strength
the
on you.
ice, I guess.
Yeah,
He like frees the ship and he lets them go, and now he's just wandering on the ice, I suppose.
yeah. Just out there, just chilling, living away from everyone, and again, not having any connection. So it's like, what did he want at the end there? Because everyone he knew is now dead. He's not getting a bride, and so he's going to live on, but just live on in the Arctic with nothing to do, nothing, not even books. Like he's not even going to be able to have that. So I don't know really what the takeaway is there, but I did like how the captain, they wrap up that story where he was too headstrong into trying to pursue this goal of, I don't know what they were doing. Were they fishing? Were they looking for? I don't know
I
what they
think
were
an
doing.
exploration.
Just exploring. But they were like, clearly, it's not going to work out. And from hearing how Victor's whole ambitious pursuit of recreating life and everything caused so much pain, he's like, you know what, guys, we'll go back home. Like, it's not
Yeah.
worth it. So I like that he, had that revelation and was able to take the lesson from the two tales that were being given to him. But
Mhm.
outside of that, I was like, I'm not really affected by Victor's passing, or I mean, it's good that the creature is able to go off and you know no longer wants to die,
Mhm.
but of course is unable to do so, and so he's like feeling that eternal pain. I'm glad that
Yeah.
he had that shift, but it's just not. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it hit as hard as everything that happened in the novel.
Yeah.
So as far as like an adaptation and a faithful adaptation, I don't know if this is it. Like this is
I
it's a
wouldn't
story
say so.
of love,
There's
but
much more
it's not really.
passion in the book, like just seeping with passion of like wanting to live a good life, wanting to feel happiness and not feeling it, wanting to have companionship that is understanding and everlasting and not getting it, and like the frustration and anger that
And
comes
yeah,
with
and
it.
the flip side, like him being so wrathful when he's not able to get that stuff and
Yeah,
taking
and
it
it's
out
just
on
not
people,
there.
punishing other people for it. So yeah, I just wish that stuff was in there.
Hmm.
Um,
We
and
need
what are
an
we
Emerald
doing?
Fennel Frankenstein.
Well, I don't know about that. We'll wait till Wuthering Heights to see what's
It's
going
gonna be
on
good.
there.
It's gonna be good. I'm telling you.
But I'm excited to see that. So we'll see two different sides of Jacob Elordi. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just disappointing, and
Yeah,
it does make me want to revisit the book. And
I've started to reread it.
oh yeah,
It's shorter than I remember it being because I have like one of the like later editions that have a bunch of add-ons on it. So it's a really thick book. And I've been looking at it for years and I'm like, man, I can't believe it. Frankenstein is so long. And then I picked it up and I was like, I think I'm gonna try and read it, even though I remember being really long and really hard to get through. And I'm flipping through and I realized like 2/3 of the book are just like add-ons of like extra poems and like other short stories and
mm,
stuff like that. And I'm like, well, how much is the book? And I'm looking at it. It's 160 pages. It's like a novella. It's very
brief.
very
Yeah,
short. I was like, oh, this is why did I hate this when I was younger? This is like the dream assignment in high school is reading a science fiction book that's only 160 pages.
yeah.
So now I'm trying to reread it. I'm like 20 pages in. I'm on the boat with Robert Walton and Victor Frankenstein, and Victor's just now starting to tell his story.
Lovely. So yeah, so at least it does that where I want to
Yeah.
revisit and be absorbed by
Hmm.
Mary Shelley's writings and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a shame. Like on a visual standpoint, again, not not a
Yeah.
knockout, which is unfortunate. And then as far as the writing, like the actual adaptation of the stuff, it seems like there's a lot of new things or tweaks that are included here that don't really seem to capture the essence of the original story. Then even just on like the dialogue front, like I'm sure there's some passages that are lifted, but for the most
Hmm.
part, I mean, because it was written what 200 years ago, 180 years, whenever the original Frankenstein was written.
Yeah. It's like
Definitely different.
1811 or something.
Oh dang! So
A
yeah,
very
200
long time. I
years.
think it was 200 years ago.
So it has,
Let me look it up.
obviously very outdated language compared to what we have now. But I'm like, give me that. Like those Shakespeare adaptations just pull in Shakespearean language. What
1818.
1818. So yeah, there we
Yes.
go. Like Mary Shelley is not as dense and incomprehensible as some of the Shakespearean language. So like just pull direct passages. Like just give me straight up these people doing their
Hmm.
original, philosophical musings in that original language. Like I would have loved that 10 times more, I think, um, and would have given I feel like the actors more of the gravitas too, and moved us away from again what I felt like was a little bit melodramatic with with the line deliveries and the performances and all that. But I will say again, Jacob Elordi I think was very good, very expressive with his eyes, like a lot of
Yeah.
stuff, in particular with the blind man, like the way he was able to just emote with the eyes. I
Hmm.
thought it was really good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think he's giving a good performance. I think he makes a
indeed,
good creature. I just wish they had designed his skin a little bit better.
true. But yeah,
But
he
for the
is
most part of his
so
story, he's covered up. So what does it even matter?
freakishly tall. Like that worked really well. And they do a couple
It did.
good shots of that, like where Oscar Isaac was kneeling down, and then Jacob Elordi stands up, and you're like, this
Hmm.
guy, like, if you did see that, you would be terrified, like
Yeah.
without a doubt.
It
You're
lands for
seeing a man
sure.
like that
Yeah.
walking around. Um,
His size definitely helps.
yeah. So that good casting there for sure.
It was funny. The original Frankenstein, Boris Karloff, he's like 5'10". He's like a normal height, but they just gave him gigantic platform boots. And so this time they just hired, and then Robert De Niro played the creature, and he's like 5'8". And this time they got Jacob Elordi, who's 6'5", and I'm like, wow, yeah, no, this is a good look for the creature.
Makes an
This is
impact.
right.
Yeah,
I do
absolutely.
like the part where Oscar Isaac goes, "They need to be long limbs, long, freakishly long limbs," and then it's just Jacob Elordi as himself.
hmm
It's great.
Yeah, I like that stuff. I get the first 30-ish minutes, whatever, when Oscar Isaac was doing this stuff. Like I kind of dug it. I liked his
I did not
presentation.
dig the prelude. I like the
Re-
presentation. I like the start of his story.
Oh
I
yeah,
did
the
not dig
stuff
the
on the boat. I was like, oof,
dude.
this is not
Atrocious.
because the
I was like, oh
action
my god,
itself
this
again,
looks
like whatever
awful.
action was happening, I'm like, it's not looking good.
Yeah, it looks
But
terrible.
his presentation, I thought was fun. Again, the
Mm.
puppetry work of like the corpses whenever they get like brought back to life and everything. I'm like, that looks really
It looked great.
solid.
Yeah, when it
Um,
catches the apple, awesome.
that was dope. Then in the sequence of him putting the lab together, and
Hmm.
then you see all the like corpses that he's collecting, all the body
Yeah,
parts. I thought that stuff was pretty delightful and entertaining to watch.
yeah. You know what I didn't like?
What's
I
that?
didn't like that the solution to Frankenstein's big problem of how to create everlasting life comes from Christoph Waltz and not Frankenstein.
Yeah, not himself.
Why?
Yeah,
Like, I guess he like expands upon Christoph. Like they work together, I suppose. But
he
are
figures
you
out
telling
the
me
spine. He
yeah,
turns Chris Walls and goes like the spine.
in the
I'm
back,
like,
in the
okay.
back? I'm like, I feel like trying to actually explain how the science works can sometimes be my least favorite part of science fiction writing. I feel like the idea is that maybe you should lean more into the fiction than the science and just make it just like it's not going to make sense either way because it's not possible.
Yeah.
Why try to explain it? Why not just be like the original Frankenstein? We're just going to shock him with a lightning bolt and he's going to come back to life. And then it
hmm
works. That's all I need. That's all I ever needed.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do like parts of it where he like gets the hook and he's like, "Did you use an alloy? It needs to be pure silver because it conducts electricity better." Like things like that. I'm like, at least that makes sense. I
hmm
don't really know if using the lymphatic system over the nervous system is going to truly create better everlasting life. I feel like you
Let's
just pulled
try
that out
it.
of your ass.
Let's get down to it. Okay. We'll do our
Sure,
science experiment.
stab me
Um,
in my lymphatic system with electricity and see what happens.
will do. But yeah, I don't know. That part was okay. It didn't bother me, rub me the wrong way. Again, I was just mostly stunned by the Christoph Waltz performance that was happening.
Yeah, that was
Um,
rough.
but yeah, and then the first, I mean, the sign to the alien, like the action, the looks being a little shoddy was in that prelude thing, and then the performances, like when all the judges or the academic people, I don't know who they were exactly, but the guy with the wigs that
Mhm.
were upset with the demonstration Oscar Isaac
Yeah,
was doing,
this
and
is
then they're like,
ungodly.
yeah, they're just being very over the top of like, this cannot stand. And it's
This is
like,
an abomination.
what are we
And
doing?
Oscar Isaac is like, this is a defiance. This is what real science is.
So I'm sure he had fun. Get to bust out the British accent and everything. Always a fan of that. But
Sure.
yeah, it just didn't come together, and I'm sad because again, it's like I love Guillermo del Toro. He's so great. He puts out positivity into the world in everything he does, and how he is, who he is, how he talks, and then the movies he
Yeah.
makes. And it's just a shame to not really click with
Yeah.
this version of
He's a wonderful
Frankenstein.
filmmaker too. Like
Yeah,
Hellboy as a concept is not really something I think that I would be interested in, but he makes it a very compelling story, and both
Hmm.
Hellboys are good movies. And then Pan's Labyrinth and The Shape of Water are both like pieces of very high art, and Pinocchio too. I would say.
Hmm.
I think I think it's hard for me to watch him do adaptation. I know Hellboy's technically an adaptation, but like Nightmare Alley, I didn't really click with because I had read the book. I think
Yeah.
maybe if you and I,
And I didn't read the book, and I loved it. And
yeah,
so, if we were going in blind, I don't think that's the case. If we went in blind to this Frankenstein, I
I
still
still think we wouldn't like it. Maybe we would have liked it a little more,
probably, but I still don't think it
but
would
not much. Yeah,
be, something that we're like, oh, it's like amazing and incredible, because those writing issues are still there,
yeah,
and they're just compounded by the fact that there was already a better blueprint in the original novel, but they still just don't work
mm,
in the current version. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, even without the novel, even if you just look at the other Frankenstein adaptations, like the
yeah.
original Frankenstein, not
They're
really
solid.
like the book, and yet far superior, I think.
It
And
tells the right story of like this creature who is born into this world, is confused and angry and frustrated, and is making mistakes and doesn't know what to do. Accidentally kills a
yeah,
child, is being chased
yeah,
around,
they
and
do
then
that. So
ultimately fails.
they strip him entirely of what I think again is like the greatest part of the Frankenstein novel, which is the creature being so intelligent and eloquent and having all these musings about life. That
Mm,
original Frankenstein, he's just a dumb dude. He doesn't have any of that, and yet they lean more into it and leverage it. And again, the whole thing with like killing the little girl is devastating because it's like
yeah.
he didn't mean to do that. Obviously, he's just playing around, and it's horrible. And then you also know that like that's a point of no return. Obviously, the town's never going to accept him at that point.
Mm,
And so it's just sad to see because
yeah.
like you don't want that to happen for him. You understand though why everyone's so
Mm,
against him now, and it's like they were able to change the basic essence of the Frankenstein novel with the creature, and yet still turned out a great film that captured a lot of the themes. Again, the whole stuff of like playing God, I think
yeah.
was much more executed well in the that original Frankenstein movie
The subtitle
compared to
is
this
The
one.
Modern Prometheus,
Exactly, and I feel like we were missing a lot of that stuff too. Like that
Yeah.
whole element of his intention here, I don't think was as well drawn. So,
Yeah.
alas,
Unfortunate.
indeed. Well, how many lightning rods out of 5 are you giving Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein?
I think I'm going to give it 2.5. It's gotten worse the more that I think about it.
Tragique. I'm giving it 2.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's too bad.
it's a
Sorry,
shame.
Guillermo.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, you loved Pinocchio. I love Nightmare
Dude.
Alley,
Yeah.
so we still
Pinocchio is
rock with you,
great.
Guillermo. But this one,
Yeah.
sad to say, he made it for himself though, and all
He
the.
did. And he loves it. And
I'm
that's what
sure a
matters.
lot of people will connect with it and everything,
A
which
lot
is
of people
great.
have. Like
Yeah,
as many of us there are that like don't like it that much because we love the novel, there are just as many people who love this movie because of what it takes away from, like what it strips off of from the novel, because of
yeah.
what
I've
they do to the
seen
creature.
in my letterbox, the friends I'm following there, I'm seeing 5 stars.
Yeah.
And them being like, "Oh, this resonated so much," and I'm like, that's beautiful." So
Yeah.
it works. It's for some people, without a doubt. But yeah, it just didn't click with us,
No.
unfortunately. So
Unfortunately. Anyway, that is all the time we have. If you'd like to give your thoughts on the show, you can email us at theboxofficeshowpod@gmail.com.
our main title theme for the show is "Sundown" by Joseph McDade.
And if you like the show, please give us 5 stars whatever podcast app you're listening to. Be sure to tune in next week. Have a great rest of your day.